Before we start the video, I want you to subscribe to the best Telegram channel at the first link in the description, where we show our earnings on cryptocurrencies, and not only. Our capital that we manage is more than $3 million. Thanks for subscribing. Also in the description is a links to verified exchangers, when you register on which you get a welcome bonus from me. Let's get to the video. Friends, the series around the FTX exchange is not over and has received new plot twists. Ellison suddenly goes free, while Ellison and the former FTX CEO ruthlessly turn him in with his guts. The information that turned out to be revealed is truly astounding, so you'll definitely be interested to hear about it. As you know from our past issues, the former head of the FTX exchange, Sam Bankman-Fried, was finally arrested in the Bahamas after being charged with 8 felonies by USA authorities. By the way, that's over 100 years in prison, which is essentially a life sentence. Sam apparently did not like the conditions of imprisonment there, and therefore he quickly agreed to be extradited to the USA. Already in New York, sitting in custody, Sam did not think long, and together with his lawyers began to negotiate his way out of prison on bail. The amount of bail was to be $250 million, the highest amount in the history of pretrial hearings. But as Sam told me in one of his interviews, after the FTX crash, he only had $100,000 left. So, supposedly, the release shouldn't have happened. But you just wouldn't believe what happened next. Sam was released, and so released that he didn't even have to pay the same $250 million. And the lawyers got an agreement that doesn't require an actual deposit. Everything hinges on a personal guarantee from Sam's parents. That is, the bail only needs to be paid if the former head of the FTX exchange is in breach of his obligations. And instead of $250 million, bail now serves as a parent's house, which is located in the state of California. Interestingly, this luxurious mansion, Sam recently bought his parents. And it may very well be that he paid for it with money stolen from customers of the exchange FTX. So, according to his commitments, the 30-year-old crook will now be under house arrest. Of course, he will wear a special electronic bracelet that signals the police in case Sam tries to escape. In addition, he is not allowed to make purchases or any other financial transactions over $1,000. Here is such an interesting situation turned out, which has caused great perplexity among the crypto community, and even more so among the victims of Sam Bankman-Fried and Ellison's actions. One popular trader, with 800,000 followers, under the nickname The Wolf of Wall Street, wrote in his Twitter that if Sam's parents violate the bail conditions, they will have to work 17 extra jobs to secure the court payment. In general, the decision to let Sam go on such terms does seem odd. After all, while he was seeking his release on bail, his friends tried to give away all sorts of information about him in hopes of cutting his sentence. We will talk about this in the next section. For now, I'd like to remind you of our Telegram channel, where we cover all these events, as well as many others that we don't always have time to capture in our releases on YouTube. So be sure to subscribe. The link will be in the description. It's not just Sam who's facing criminal charges. Also falling under the radar are the former head of Alameda Research, Ellison, and the technical director of the FTX exchange, Gary Wang. According to ABC News, the beautiful Ellison pleaded guilty to all charges, including conspiracy to commit fraud against customers of FTX. She now faces up to 110 years in prison. And if the average life expectancy of a person was much longer, then you could say that her accomplice Gary Wang is lucky, because he can spend in prison twice as little time, which is 50 years. But it didn't end there, because the Securities and Exchange Commission also brought charges against him for defrauding investors. The two perpetrators of the tragedy for the entire crypto industry, Caroline and Gary, were both reportedly active participants in the fraud scheme and were crucial to its success. The regulator also claimed that Caroline had illegally used FTX users' funds for her trading company, Alameda, while Gary Wang created the software code that allowed client assets to be redirected to Alameda's balance directly from FTX deposits. And then came the bad news for Sam. Because Caroline Ellison probably won't be in jail for the rest of her life. As it turns out, the DA's office has agreed not to prosecute her on any of the charges in exchange for her cooperation. She will now release absolutely all the information and documents that only it will take to get Curly Sam screwed with a prison sentence to the fullest. In addition, the already famous fraudster was also allowed to get out of custody on bail, a total of $250,000. Of course, in doing so, she is not allowed to leave the United States, and she will still be prosecuted for violating tax laws, for which she can get away with just a big fine. Looks like Caroline didn't go to New York for nothing after the FTX debacle, while Sam thought of sitting it out in the Bahamas. Although, in any case, it's unlikely that Bankman-Fried would have received the same offer as his ex-girlfriend, since he is the main figurehead. Had justice not been done to him, the public would have been extremely unhappy. By the way, Bloomberg has already revealed what Caroline had to say to get away with it. At the hearing, December 19, she admitted to the court that, along with Curly Sam, deliberately deceived creditors and without any restrictions issued money from the exchange FTX for her trading company. In fact, all the minuses in the accounts of Alameda Research were closed at the expense of exchange users. Most importantly, to her confession, she added the classic regrets for what she had done and asked for forgiveness. Well, even though the FTX exchange is completely destroyed and the situation has caused a lot of damage to the crypto industry, financial regulators in the USA decided to add oil to the fire by declaring the FTT token securities. According to the Securities and Exchange Commission, the price of this token is directly dependent on the success of the FTX exchange, which allows you to call the FTT token an investment for profit. Also, the regulator mentioned a token burning program, which is very similar to the share buyback feature. Actually, according to the commission, all this is a reason to declare these tokens as a security. In fact, under such criteria, a huge number of cryptocurrencies can be pulled, and not just stock exchange tokens, the price of which depends on the popularity and reputation of the exchange. It's also interesting that FTT token wasn't even available for purchase in USA. I suspect it's all the fault of the lawsuit with Ripple, in which SEC could lose, and, therefore, the regulator decided to take an easier target, which, in theory, is unlikely anyone will actively defend anymore. The main thing is that then the possible victory will not affect other court decisions, which will be associated with the declaration of this or that cryptocurrency a security. After these events, the FTT rate is back below $1, though it is even slightly above its local bottom of 84 cents. I don't exclude the possibility that it may even pump again if they start pumping about the reopening of the exchange. But it will be a local and very short-term story, since FTT is already dead along with FTX. I'm much more interested in whether Sam or Caroline will tell something in court that can cause another powerful blow to the whole cryptocurrency market. They have nothing to lose, and they could have access to the biggest secrets. So, I'll keep an eye on the situation and let you know about everything. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new videos, and click like if you like the video. Thanks for watching, your Cryptanic.